前はもう死んでいる。
Welcome back everyone, I hope you're all having a lovely day. In today's video, we're going to be getting into a Bitcoin technical analysis. We're also going to be taking a look at some of our favorite altcoins, Chainlink and Ethereum. I want to share with you my thoughts on the lower time frames, the higher time frames, take a look at the general momentum behind the price action so that we can trade the charts accordingly. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. And as you guys know, I don't like to waste any time. So let's get right into the analysis here. We're going to start off on the 1 day time frame and take a look at the current price action here. Of course, we are still inside of this triangle and we are getting very close to a break off this, in my personal opinion, within the next really 24 hours. So we could break this at any time if this pattern is to stay true, as we do end up breaking patterns usually around 70 to 80% full, and I would say this is around 80 to 90% full almost now. So a target for the upside and a target for the downside can be had. We'll take a look at that later, but more importantly, let's go to some of the lower time frames, some of the medium time frames, such as a 12-hour. If we look at the volume as well, even on the daily, of course, we have declining volume from left to right since our dip to the downside. If we take a look at the stochastic, we've seen a rejection from the bearish control territory right now in the 12-hour. So if we can actually move up here and work our way into the bullish control territory, which we already got a rejection from as well, by the way, that would be very good for price action, and I think we could actually break this range to the upside. So a break above the weekly R1 here at $39,512. Add that with the stochastic working its way into the bullish control territory, that could be a very nice setup in play. Once again, declining volume from left to right. The volatility here, the VIX, is showing us basically the same kind of thing as the volume here. It's just showing us that we're still inside of a range. Volume has not really picked up to either side, and we're seeing volatility still not pick up to either side also. So if we do see a break of either a resistance or a support with increase in volatility and increase in volume, that could be a very nice indication that this move will be continuing. Okay, so be looking at things like volume, open interest. These are going to be very, very important. Now, I know we have been talking about these, but I will quickly remind you, our high time frame resistances, of course, the $43,000 level, $42,000 to $43,000 level here, and for the downside, $29,200 to $27,700. This is the massive support region and a resistance we should be aware of. So that's very important. To be honest, if we do get above that R1, that's what I'll be looking for. It would have been nice to get another test off these lows as well, because it would be some nice longing opportunities, in my personal opinion. If this were to confirm as support here and we were to bounce up on the S3, that would be an absolutely fantastic opportunity. But most of the time, or at times, you will not actually get two chances at a bottom, especially if it is going to be a major bottom in the market. But like I said, the triangle is almost coming to an end, so potentially we can see a break off this region very, very soon. So for the upside here, we'd be looking somewhere around 51,600, and for the downside, we'd be looking somewhere around 21,900. Now, in my personal opinion, the way the daily is looking, if it can continue up here on the stochastic, we've actually just come up to that neutral zone, so just out of the bearish control territory finally. So if we can actually work our way into the neutral zone and even further up into the bullish control territory, and if we see volume come in, well, this is going to be a bullish setup and something I'm going to be interested in. We know that the monthly pivot is right in the middle of the breakdown point, the last breakdown point from $42,000 that brought us all the way down to $30,000. So we need to get above that breakdown point to get acceptance back into this range and start to work our way up to the R1 and up to some important resistance points. So definitely keep that in mind. We do have some altcoins definitely doing very, very good things at the moment. Let's go into some of the lower time frames here, such as a 15-minute. We can see a very nice longing opportunity that came in here this morning. Of course, we came to the downside. We have a very nice channel going on at the moment. So a falling channel, this can be looked at as a bullish falling channel, of course, since falling channels do have more possibilities, or the probability is higher to the upside, of course. So we have a low time frame falling channel, which is breaking to the upside. We know that since we are trading this channel here, we can be looking for longs, especially on the daily pivot, since that is an important support region on the lower time frames at $37,226. So a very simple buy off support, the first test off the daily pivot, and we've already bounced up about 1.3%, which is a very, very nice scalp opportunity. Now, if we can work our way to the R1, we also have the swing highs here as well. So that's very important that we actually do get above this R1 and start to kind of break into this top side of the triangle. So that's about the R2. So if we can do this, which I think for me personally on the lower time frames at the moment, I am more tailored to the upside. Could definitely be wrong about this, but overall I'm tailored to the upside here, just because of the fact that I'm seeing some momentum coming on the lower time frames, and the high time frames are definitely showing that momentum as well. So it's very important that we actually do break the top side of this triangle. So as you can see, this is actually the top side of the triangle. Now, why is it important to break this? Because we know that one of our important high time frames, the weekly, is showing us that the stochastic is coming down to support. So basically, we are on a time load here that is very important for bulls. They kind of need to bring in this volume very soon so we can bounce on this support that we've had since 2019 on the weekly stochastic and actually play out this green VIX that we're seeing, right? So what is the green VIX showing us? It's showing us that a potential bottom is coming into the market, or has already come into the market, and this would be very, very nice to trade once we actually reclaim resistance. And of course, it was very nice to trade as well once we came down to the yearly R1. I hold a very small position from that region still at 30,000, around $400. I've already shown you guys that. We've taken a lot of profits on it. However, it's just too much of a nice entry to let go of, since we haven't seen any volume come to the downside. And of course, likewise, we haven't seen any volume come to the upside either since we've been inside of this range. Time to stay patient and actually look at this break as an opportunity to trade it to either side. In my personal opinion, it will be to the upside. However, I cannot really, move the market, right? So we're going to have to wait for these confirmations and trade them accordingly. I think that there are going to be some very nice trades coming in. Once we get increase in volatility, guys, well, of course, we're not going to be inside of a range. We're going to have more volume coming in as well. And then that's going to be some very nice trading opportunities. So let's start off on Dogecoin. This has been requested a lot. So we'll take a look at it. Now, Dogecoin did actually come down. If we look at the weekly time frame, Dogecoin is looking extremely bullish because it is continuing with the trend, guys. So yes, we had a big dip to the downside, but whether we look at wicks right here or candle bodies, we actually set in a higher low. So what does that mean for us? That means that we are able to kind of feel more confident behind the market structure holding on the high time frames. For example, if you look at Bitcoin right now, you will see that on a weekly time frame, I mean, you guys should know this already, and I'm 100% sure that you guys do already know this, because once we started to break our pitchfork here, once we started to come down to the yearly R3, we said that for the first time, we failed to create a higher high, and we failed to hold this last higher low. And we came straight down, and this is where we got much more aggressive on looking for those shorts to actually come a little bit lower, which came down much lower because of liquidations. But overall, it did break market structure. But if you go onto DOGE USD, it is surprising to see, or not surprising to see, but overall, it's just holding the market structure, guys. So there is no kind of a reason to be looking at this as a reversal until that does occur. Maybe on this pump to the upside, we can do something very similar to what we did for Bitcoin and set in a lower high and then continue to make a lower low, right? That is always a possibility. But as it stands right here, this is a very bullish read. The bears tried very hard here to actually push the price down, but even on a wick or a candle closing basis, it is a higher low. Not much volume on the weekly either. So as you can see, we actually have declining volume from the 12th of April when we had our pump to the upside here from from this region, 0.07, and we've gone up about 1,000% since then, but we still have declining volume overall. So what I want to see is actually a break above these candle body closures, because as you guys know, I care more about candle bodies even when I'm looking at the price action overall structure, because wicks are a little bit all over the place, especially in crypto. So it's just worked better for me to look at mainly candle bodies as far as market structure goes here. So if we can get above these two candle bodies here and set in a higher high based on a candle body closure, I think that would be a good sign to start to look for further upside. And as far as a weekly time frame goes, getting above here, well, that is resistance. So we can actually be looking at a little bit of an RS flip, a resistance turning into support. So resistance, support, flip, and potentially even go for those highs. I think that at that point we'd be going for all-time highs, but that's already a very nice trade in and of itself. Going on to the 1-day time frame, we can see we are right at that monthly pivot, so we're facing some big resistance at the moment. If we can actually get some open and closures above this monthly pivot, I think Dogecoin will be looking much better to actually move its way back to those highs and really even the R1 at that point. So let's go on to Ethereum USD now. And Ethereum USD is still under its monthly pivot, as you guys can see, it below $3,026. If we can get above this monthly pivot, which is actually an important resistance because it does kind of hold all of these wicks right here, and also the base that we built before the move to the upside here. So from about the 5th of May, we had a very nice move up about 54% to the upside. Once we came back down there, we actually ended up breaking this region. So we can know, or we can suspect, that once we retest this level, that is going to act as resistance, support turning into resistance, support turning into resistance. But testing it so many times, the weaker the level is going to get, the less sell pressure most likely will be up here. So if we can actually get above this region, that would be getting above the breakdown point, that would be getting above the monthly pivot, and just by looking at the monthly pivots, we could be targeting at least the R1 based on a high time frame. Doesn't have to happen straight away, but if we are to get some open and closures above the monthly pivot, the $4,143 level, which is the R1, is a perfect region. Now, the important support here is the S1, the S1 at $1,908. So if we are to come down, I would still be looking at this as a big support region and as a region that I would be looking for long opportunities, but we need to definitely confirm that region as support. So potentially coming down, taking the lows, closing right back above resistance, or back above support, that's a trade that I'm very interested in. But this one is just absolutely fantastic in and of itself, I think, as well. More or less still inside of its range for Ethereum here, just like Bitcoin, waiting to make that next move. We still have declining volume for Ethereum as well. So on the break of the monthly pivot, or on the break of the S1, for example, we need to see volume increase. We need to see volume increase, open interest, looking good for a breakout of either side. Okay, we can be looking for that upside breakout, but always keep in mind that this will be very possible as well, and we want to be ready for it. So the S1, definitely an area to be watching. Let's go on to LinkUSD. So LinkUSD right below its monthly pivot as well. I absolutely love this trade right here because we came right up to near the top of the range. So if we are to get above the monthly pivot, that would still be a key area, okay? It's good that we've gotten above the monthly pivot if we are to do it, it would be overall good, but we'd still need to clear these highs and the top of the range because we are in the range that we had been in since January. So acceptance back into it. We can't assume that it's going to really break until it does, and that would be a good start. That's about it from me, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I appreciate your time. Go ahead and comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll try to get around to all of them. If you want to join my private technical analysis group, go ahead and send me a message on Discord. My username is down below in the description, and I will send you all of the information. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video.